Welcome back to the 95 Trucking Podcast, the podcast for truck drivers, owner operators, investors, just anyone in the trucking industry or who is interested in the trucking industry. So, today's Sunday. Today is Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers
Happy
out
Mother's
there
Day.
watching, tuned in. All the drivers who are mothers, shout out to them. Today we have a very interesting topic. It could be very controversial, but we just want to let everyone know. Listen,
It's
we don't-
reality.
Your moms.
listen.
Your moms.
If it don't apply, let it fly. Okay,
Right.
don't get in your feelings about this. Okay,
Right.
Well,
All right.
today we are supposed to treat ladies nicely.
nicely. All right, be
Always,
nice.
not only today, always.
So the topic is called mom, right? But not your regular mom. This is money over men.
Jose, we are done.
Literally.
And we
We
just
are done.
want to talk about how a lot of women are choosing their careers, their money over their love lives, a husband and a family. And again, this is not a feminist show, like a super feminist, overly exaggerated, but it's the reality of what's happening right now. So again, I have my co-host here. I'm gonna let everyone present themselves. Let's start with Melissa.
Hey, Melissa here. You already know.
Hey, Jose here, part of the group as well.
Welcome, Jose. This is your first time here. Hey.
It's just a pleasure to be here. This is my first time,
It is.
First
Welcome.
and just to be near you guys, it feels amazing. Thank you for
Welcome,
the
welcome.
opportunity.
Thank you. That, and I am Majin Buu, as you guys already know.
Who you are?
Yeah. Majin Buu. We're in it, right?
Majin Buu is here.
Yes.
To stay.
And we have these ladies here. First and foremost, happy Mother's Day, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy
Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And with all that said, we're gonna get right to it, right?
Let's get
Jose
right
Manuel,
to it.
what do you think these ladies, or how easy is it for them to be a mom, right? Meaning a mom is choosing money over men, right? Hey. Right?
So we have to analyze very well this because this can be confusing. This is not just a standard mom. We
Right.
are going to be describing the word
Mom.
Mom, right?
All right.
MOM, just
Yeah.
like MOB.
Yeah, so right, just like MOB, they got us there, right? They got us there. Okay. So Melissa, I don't know, you how many years you got in trucking business already, driving as a driver?
Driving commercially over 15 years.
15 years, all right.
So I've been on the
So
road for a little bit.
15
Very
years,
experienced one.
15 years. How easy was it for you choosing money over men?
Well, I've only really been in a long-term relationship from when I was 18 to 28. I had my daughter from that relationship. And after that, I just kind of dated. But in dating, I found that it was like what was the purpose? Like, what were we doing? Like, I don't like to...
It was easy choosing money over men
It
while
was
dating.
very easy because I knew what the money... I was making the money for a purpose. It was a goal. It was an outcome. I was doing something with that money. And in
Besides
dating-
independence.
Right. And in dating, sometimes it's just like, what's going on? What are we doing? Like, what are you adding to my life that can help me reach my goals? And most of the time, when we get involved emotionally, whether we're dating in a serious note or and just casual dating, feelings and emotions will always happen. Me personally do not understand how people could date without emotion. If I'm dealing with the person, it's because I'm genuinely interested in that person and I want to build something. So like if we're dealing with each other for 3 to 6 months and I don't see no movement, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm bored already. Like, what's really happening? I don't have time to waste. I have a daughter that I gotta provide for. I want to create a certain life for myself. And I would like to share that with somebody that we share the same
Right.
mindset.
So we knowing that Suhey is not a driver, but she is a boss lady. So knowing she's a boss lady, she's definitely a mom.
trust
Okay,
me.
she's definitely a mom being a boss
Here we
lady.
go. The boss is here.
Yes.
Before-
She definitely picks money over men. Okay?
Before she
so you
begins,
get that right.
Before she begins, please let me fix my seat. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Get it ready. Yeah. So hey, you've been in the business. We said what?
10 years now.
10 years now. Okay, so we're all in it, right? You've been in the business for 10 years. You decided to take it upon yourself and not drive, but be on the logistics side of the business, right?
Right.
So being on the logistics side of the business, you see more money coming in, right? So you see the big numbers. You see the big numbers. Obviously, you were a mom. You chose the money over the men, right?
Right.
So you knowing that side of the business had to do more with the money. That side of the business had to do more, logistically, that you were going to be seen different, right? And you knew that you were going to be the boss lady, right? How easy was it for you if you had anybody coming at you, trying to, flex on you any kind of way?
I think that when you're building anything from scratch, like the focus matters so much. Like, when you're so disciplined, when you have tunnel vision, you want to, make something work. It's, it's easy to kind of like shut out distractions because you can't, once you, like Melissa was explaining, once you start catching feelings, that's going to get you off your game ASAP. Like you start focusing more on this other person because as women, we're nurturers, so we want to nurture whatever relationship we have and whatever we have. But, if you're focused on something and you're trying to, make something of yourself and you're choosing this as your career, it's easy for you to just have tunnel vision and just choose that and keep choosing that every day. Unless someone, I'm not saying that.
Feelings are bad, but if this person is distracting
Feelings
you,
are bad.
No.
Feelings are-
Catching
Whoa.
feelings and emotions is not a bad thing.
It's not.
You want to be with somebody that supports you.
They
that
have to
adds
meet you
your
there.
life.
It's like
Yes.
she's saying, like, you want people to add. So when I first started, I was dating. I was already in a relationship. I was living with this man, and everything. And he did not believe in trucking.
Right.
He did not believe in trucking. I had all my plans. I had all my business plans. And he was like, nope, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're going to come home and do what you got to do, look pretty, and just be there. Like
He wanted a trophy wife.
he wanted
Right.
a wife, and
He
I
wanted a
was,
trophy wife.
and I kept like, because I was in the relationship, I kept suppressing, my independence, my ambition.
Your beliefs.
And I was just like, every day it became more and more miserable. Like I became more miserable because when you need an outlet, sometimes when you're a creator, when you're trying to create something and work something,
You
need an
weren't
outlet
able to fly.
I wasn't able to fly. He was trying to clip my wings. So
Right.
is when you're in that and you see yourself in that and it's like, you're miserable and now you're gray, your days are gray, like you have to get out of it. So I had to get out of it. I had to leave that behind. And as soon as I left it behind, my trucking company just blew up.
Majin Buu, just listening to these stories, it's very easy to understand that everything gonna depend on what type of people
You're dealing with
you are dealing with at the moment that any project begins.
Yes.
So if they are not connected to what is as part of the vision, it's gonna become a distraction because either way, either I join you to now become stronger the project, or I'm gonna be the one literally taking away all the interest you have into.
Yep.
So for me, I'm just listening to these amazing stories.
Yes, obviously.
Is that it's either A or B. If I gonna detect that you are going to be part of it, come. Other than that, I don't need you, and it's okay. I feel it's fair enough.
Yeah.
You know what I think sometimes men might be attracted to this independent woman that she's getting her own money and all of that, but then when they really get to know that female and realize like, okay, hold up, like she's an alpha female, she can bring to the table the same thing I can bring, that make them feel some kind of way. Like,
Well,
let's-
that's a double sword edge. That's a double sword. That's a double edged sword. Let's say,
What do you
right?
say that-
Excuse
why
me
you say
about
that?
it. Yeah. Why? Because a lot of the women tend that when they boss up, right? When they get that money, they want to have both roles. They don't know how to understand the role of a wife when she gets the
I'm gonna
money.
tell you something right now. We're gonna put
Excuse
this on
me.
air right now. Hold on.
Excuse me.
Hold on one second. I consider myself an alpha female.
There's no problem
gonna-
with you
hold
being
on
an
one
alpha
second, but
female, but
listen.
you just have to understand
But
that you're a
listen,
female.
I understand that, and I'm gonna put this out there. I consider myself an alpha female, but I cannot wait for an a male to come into my world. They make me sit down for a little bit. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
She-
No,
she-
I think it's
Sit down for a little bit.
I
I
think
is
don't
the
believe
alpha.
myself, but I need an alpha male that's not gonna feel intimidated by who I am. I'm independent. I'm always gonna be independent, but I definitely want that male presence in my life to support me.
Hey,
Right,
I just
right.
feel something.
That's totally good if she understands you're female.
Yes, I
Right.
get it.
I think all women know that they're females. I think the problem is that in the process, there's a process. Just like when you plant a flower,
Right.
you put the seed, you gotta water it, then
You
it
gotta
grows.
talk to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now, when this woman is growing into something, she's gonna have stages, different type of like, and the man has to know how to nurture that. A real man. A real nurturer is going to understand that, or somebody that already has been in that position, because for everyone the part of growing is they understand, like once you grow and you get to a certain, you understand what that person has to go through, you understand they're going to have highs and lows. So when you nurture that woman the right way, I think she's always going to be feminine, she's always going to have her
Right.
soft side. But you also got to understand that for certain businesses, especially for trucks, and I got to deal with drivers, I got one driver with a flat tire, the other driver is getting towed, the other driver is late to delivery. I have to channel
a lot.
my male energy. I have to my masculine energy. And at that time while I'm doing it, yeah, I am going to be very masculine. I'm going to be very aggressive because I need to make sure that the job is done.
But
Exactly.
now, just because I listen to this, but to me, it's like when you go on the street, you have two parallel lines. I don't have to interfere with your line. As a lady, there are expected behavior that what topic are we referring to? If we are talking about relationship, you already have a role that there are certain actions that comes automatically from you being a female, just as mine. Now, why will it be wrong that you have a strong personality or you have the capacity to be capable of managing men or
I think that's, the male ego, the machismo.
Yeah.
Like I'm,
well,
Yeah,
but
it creates
it's true.
insecurity. It's
But
a reality.
That should be a mirror as well for you to know if this is even a good match. Because if I am being skeptical about your capacity to be strong, I'm being blind. I need that to protect me.
And that's why we get up and pick the money over the men.
Pick the money over
Some
the man.
men be
have
in their
them all.
feelings.
Right. So would you
So
say?
so don't call me for the rent.
So would you say
I
that?
can pay my rent. That's
So
not the
would
problem.
would
You're
you
here
say?
because I want you to be here.
And that's always a battle, you see? Then you're like, oh, he's like, oh, don't call me for this. Don't do this for this.
Yeah,
And
don't worry about
then
it.
we're both fighting and we never
If you
come to a
got
common
flat
ground.
tire, please do not call me.
Triple
Exactly.
AAA.
Oh, you see, there you go. It's always that counterpart. So would you say that if you find the correct man that will empower you,
Yes.
right? So would you still want to be a mom?
No, I think when the right person comes along, that's the time. You'll know when that person actually, But I mean, in this day and age, it's really, really hard. I don't know if you guys have been dating or you're in the dating pool, but it's
Ain't nothing out there.
even the older men are
Right.
giving me problems.
Whoa.
Right.
No, but
So that means that the dating scene is active, right?
Yep.
So you guys already know she's a mom, okay?
so come ready.
Yeah, come
Come
correct.
correct.
Come correct.
I
exactly.
feel, I just think I have a different vision. I respect it and I hear what you guys say. But I see this type of relationship scenario as everything. It's a project. You have to shape it throughout the time. It's not like I'm dating you and we look like we can get along. That is a very long path. That every day that I discover something, we had to work it out. We had to communicate it. We had to think where we're going together. It's not just an I came and up here today looking like this and we cool the rest of the life. It doesn't work like that.
So what would the counterpart be of a mom that chooses money over men if she's in the trucking business, let's say driving
Over the road.
she's
18-wheel
over the road.
truck.
Yeah, she's over the road. Let's say she's over the road, right? So what would the scenario be? Would it be the same as a male when he comes home? Would the male have to nurture that female like she nurtures him when he comes home? You understand? So what feelings would you have, or what are your expectations if you're on the road, Melissa? Let's say you're a driver. What would your expectations be coming home that weekend?
You know, if I'm over the road, I haven't seen my partner in a few days, then we're gonna plan our weekend. We're gonna spend some time with each other. We're gonna talk about my work week. We're gonna talk about what you got going on, and we're gonna spend time together. Like
He means
Right.
like, does he have to have the house clean, the food?
well, yeah.
cooked?
No, I'm not gonna say cook. I'm not gonna say cook. You know, cook for me or whatever. But
Well,
the
that
house
that
clean,
that having
because at the end of the day, I'm not your mom.
Yeah, that
We're talking about to
having
eat.
having the house clean and all that stuff, that has to come with you being just a
Just
human
like
being.
if my
Yeah.
You know, just you
partner-
being a human being. Obviously, if I'm in the house, I'm the one that has to take care of everything, right? But as well, I work and I do everything. So you coming home that weekend, what I want to know is, do you still want to go out Saturday night?
I'm
Sunday
not.
morning?
I'm mostly a homebody, but
Ooh.
yes, we can go out or no, we can stay home. I'm pretty simple. Like
Babe,
I
I'm tired.
But what happens when that becomes a routine? When that becomes a routine, when every weekend I'm waiting for you because I haven't spent that much time with
But if
you.
my partner wants to go out, we're gonna communicate. Communication is key in every kind of relationship. Whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a work relationship, whether it's a friendship, you have to communicate.
You have to
your
compromise,
expectations
yeah.
Let me
and
ask,
compromise.
but I need you to be,
So what's gonna happen with the beauty part of the time?
and not only that.
I got my sister for
There's
that.
no time for
Oh.
that.
Sis.
No
Meet me
time
at
for
the
that.
crib.
No time.
Majin Buu, I'm gonna ask them both of them this question, but it has to be completely honest. When you say it has to be communicated, is that true that the women, when it's the opposite, when the man is outside all the time and the female is waiting on the weekends, do you really think there is that communication, or as soon as the men get home, they already have the whole weekend planned?
I cannot speak for in general. I can only speak for myself.
No, you want to hear from you.
I can only speak for myself. Like I said, I'm a homebody. So I don't mind staying home. But, you know, once in a while to keep the fire going in the relationship, we could do things. There's a whole lot of world out there to be seen. Like, why can't we plan ahead and communicate? Like, that's it. That's all
Because,
you-
babe, I'm tired.
All right. So we're going to stay home. It's going to be
Imagine, Boo, imagine he's going to be with the channel lock in his hand.
Oh,
I'm
come on.
busy.
No.
I'm
You
busy.
plan things. You're planning a life together. This is your partner. Like, this is your partner in life. So you talk during the week. Hey, babe, what we gonna do this week? It depends. Like, it all comes down to communication.
Right.
That's
Since
it.
you ladies are actively dating, right? What are your expectations for you not to turn on that mom notch?
I don't even think they have thought about it.
You know what?
Yeah. I feel like communication is definitely one. It's not only communicating, it's being able to understand the person, be able to communicate with your partner, because sometimes people might say things but they might not understand it, or they're just like one-sided. Like, you know, you have to be able to communicate. There's also like the healing
And make
part.
sure your
Come
words
healed.
match your
Like,
actions.
Don't come with traumas from past relationships. This is not
100%.
that. Like, you know, that's not me. It's never, like, you know, stop comparing to other past relationships. So if you need therapy, go get therapy.
And that goes for both ways. But that
So
goes
you already
for
know
both,
what's going
for
on.
females and males. That's not just. We're not just talking
Talk
about.
about- yeah,
we're
we're
talking
talking
about
So
both.
what you ladies, again, saying it again, being active, what is really the dating scene going on now? What is it that you see that you're having problems with, Suhey? Because a lot of men want to know, so that if they find a mom, they could they could have her come down a pedestal from that alpha female and nurture a man like they should, or they
That's the number one problem there. Don't try to take me off my pedestal. Don't. I'm on a pedestal. I want to keep going higher. Nurture me to go higher. Don't try to bring
Dim
me
my
down.
light.
So no
Because-
suggestions.
Know what?
No suggestions, of course. Open criticism, but like, don't. I feel like that's the number one problem. The intimidation. As soon as they know what I do, oh no, it's like, oh boy, like it just turns into something else. And then if they call you big money, it's over. Like, run.
It's a wrap.
Run. They gonna start asking you for 50-50. They start asking you for money. I was just like, oh no.
What?
You know what makes
The truth.
the whole scenario so difficult is that everything boils down to how your personality was developed individually. Because, like I said, maybe you are also a strong person, but you might have somebody who is as strong as you, but at the end of the day, does not have tools to even communicate, doesn't have any project. She just have a big mouth and makes money. So when you said, do not come to me with any trauma, and I'm gonna give you an example. Just imagine I was, for example, with Melissa before I met you. But Melissa was somebody that was just verbally aggressive because she was well financially positioned. But now I meet you, that you are verbally aggressive, but you are smart enough to allow yourself to know me. As soon as you open your mouth, you know what's gonna happen to me
They're gonna trigger.
immediately.
Yep.
And
But that's
by
where therapy
nature.
comes in.
Yeah.
You
But-
gotta heal that.
What you actually will be the one that helps me to heal that. But this is a whole process that even a psychologist cannot even fix that easy. So it's
No,
hard.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we were saying. Like, so it takes compromising and it takes communication, but you have to understand that from that person. Like, oh, that triggers you. Okay, I'll try to approach that differently.
I agree.
You know, but if you're not communicating and you're just having tantrums,
Right.
you know, it's just like, okay, so I'm confused. Like,
Yes.
And if you meet
I
a
don't know what's
person
going on.
and they tell you exactly what they want in their lives, and you from day one, you know that you cannot give that to that person, why continue to waste their time?
yeah, that's another thing.
Why continue to entertain? Because you might be physically attracted to that person, but this person is telling you,
This is what I want.
this is what I want for my life. This is the life that I want to live, and this is the partner that I want to spend my life with, or to build a life with. And you know in your head that you're not willing to give that person any of that. Why continue to waste their time?
So
Why?
you're not gonna give a second opportunity.
It's no second opportunity because I'm giving you everything you need to know at the beginning. I want this, that, and the third. We talk for a few days or a few weeks, whatever. Then you realize that I'm really putting my money where my mouth is, and you're really like, wait, hold up, this is not really what I want. But you
Yeah.
already got to know this person. You might be attracted to them, but you cannot be that person that
You
they're
caught
asking
feelings.
Yeah. So, like, for example, I say I like to travel. I tell everybody I like to travel. Okay, I like to travel. I could travel. I could budget that in my lifestyle, right? But your lifestyle, you can't budget that. You can't be mad when I decide that I want to travel and then you can't.
for. Right.
If I decide to
What about
leave
you pay for the trouble?
That,
I've done that before and it becomes a problem
but
too.
listen,
And then they always expect
Whoa.
you to pay.
Hey, she's a mom.
Majin Buu,
She's a mom.
I will say one thing because, as I always say, negotiation brings half and half. When I first came to the U.S., actually I was in a relationship, and I remember I barely could even manage how to make a living at the time. And I remember having someone that was stable, had, a complete different life from me. And her rule was, we're going to do 50-50. But 50-50 when I was down here, and she
Okay.
was way farther than me. Now, where the whole scenario can become dangerous is that I was somebody focused. I didn't have tools to learn at that speed. I needed a whole process. But my mind was already set up. I had to go forward. I took the conditions. I was with her 50-50. But then that 50-50 became 450 on my end. When she asked me if I was able to help more or provide more, what I had to do. What was my condition at the time? When I became way much more successful, I still wanted my 50-50. You understand the fact? So it can happen to anybody. You can start with somebody lower than your level. You can continue with your lifestyle. But you're going to be able to obtain what you invest. If you say, no, when you can, we go, but then he became way more higher than you, same thing that you are risking as well. And I'm just putting a message on my own personal life.
But you will see it. You will see it in a man, and that it's not a problem investing in other people. I don't think that we have problems investing in men as women.
Right.
And we'll take the weight. but you'll see it in a man. Like, okay, he got ambition. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might, it's like you said, he might just not have the tools. But also, I feel like as a woman, if you provide too much for that man, then that man thinks that you're going to take the credit for it. And it also creates a different insecurity, because now you're taking away from his masculine ability to create something for himself. And
Right.
that becomes animosity. Like, you know, like now, you know, he feels a certain type of way because I did this, and it becomes a competition. And then he's just trying to get at you to make you insecure or take you off your pedestal or make himself look better. So it's like, it's a lot of different scenarios and a lot of different things that come with, you know, with that. So
Right.
you have to be careful. Like, so if you're in that relationship and, you know, you have somebody that's way lower, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, as long as the person has that ambition. And then once you get there, like, okay, we're going to talk, we're going to do this, we're going to give each other time frames, just like any goal. Like, you know, in a year from now, this is what I want to do. In 2 years,
Right.
like really like managing the life and
Right.
communicating through it.
And
is
not
important.
saying that if you, because it has happened, not saying if either a male or a female invests in that other person, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're going to stay with you when they reach their
No.
goal. You got to be prepared for that also. Like, it might, because at the end of the day, anything could happen at any given moment. You gotta
Absolutely.
you gotta prepare yourself for anything.
Nobody
Anything
owns
to change.
anyone. Anyone
Exactly.
can walk out your life.
The things
and that's
that-
why we mom too, because money
Whoa.
doesn't leave.
Right.
Doesn't walk out.
Money be right there.
Money be there, right? So, what is the real being a mom? Being a mom, what is the real expectation, or what are you really open to? You knowing that you could get what a man could provide for you. Let's say in quote, what is the real expectation?
My expectations are honesty. Honesty is the best policy. Loyalty and respect. If I'm dealing with you, you ain't gotta worry about nothing. I'm not dealing with another person, okay? And I expect the same thing. If we're gonna be dealing with each other, if we're gonna be on the phone every single day, or if we're gonna be, you know, spending time, and you want to get to know me and asking me how I'm doing every
You
day.
really want to be on the phone every day?
I'm saying, like,
No,
to
it's
check
just a question.
on me. Yeah. What are you doing? Have you eaten? How do you feel? How was
Have you
your day?
eaten? So you are
Yes.
different, because a lot of women don't want to be asked if you eat. Oh, what, you gonna send me an Uber? You gonna send me some
Nah,
food?
but that's not.
You're
I
gonna
don't
send
need
me
you for
lunch?
that.
Yeah, right.
I
You're gonna
don't
send me
need
flour?
you for that.
Why are you asking if
Once-
you don't gonna provide?
Yeah.
No. I don't need you for that. I don't ask for much in any relationship that I've ever been. I've never asked for absolutely anything. If you want to give me something, you give it to me out of the kindness of your heart. Because if I have to ask for it, that's already doing the most.
Yeah. So with that said, what you really want is, like you said, honesty,
Respect.
respect, loyalty, and communication, right?
Right. Clear
So will
communication. Keep it
Suhaib
real.
have the same thing to say, or what are yours?
I think just partnership, like, you know,
Partnership.
like I want somebody to do life with, like, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, all right, like, listen, we got all these projects going on. If we're gonna focus on building wealth, let's build wealth together. If we're gonna focus on, you know, growing our family, let's grow families together. Like, life is short, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's make the best out of it. And, you know, I think that men were made for women and women were made
Yes.
for men. And I
Right.
think that, you know, the partner is very important, who you choose in your life, and it dictates a lot of your success. And I do feel like two people could do better more than one. You know,
Yes.
I've always wanted like somebody to come and take over my trucking business. Like,
Right.
a man of like just take over. Like,
Guys,
That
pay
can
attention,
handle it,
please.
right?
Not take over. You can manage it.
Attention, please. We have a mom. Okay, we have a mom, and she needs somebody to take over.
That's a chance right there.
Well, it could be a chance, but it's definitely a
Not
challenge.
take over.
But it's
He could
definitely a
manage
challenge.
it. He could be the assistant general manager. She's like,
Assistant general manager?
Right.
No, they don't
She's a
want to
general-
do that though. They don't want
They
to
don't
be
wanna do
nobody.
that?
They don't want to be managed. I mean, I don't think that the partner for me would probably want to be a manager here, but he'll either have his
Well,
own
it'll
business or-
it'll have to be somebody that's in the industry to already take over like that.
So, and the thing
Maybe
is
we
that
can merge.
trucking,
Maybe
Yeah.
we
the
can
trucking business, I don't think a lot of people understand it because it's long out. We know trucking is 24/7. It's long hours. On Saturdays, you might have to go to the dealership or here, there, run around for the truck.
parts. There's so many moving parts. Yeah.
So, kinda, yeah. Like I'm a driver. I might work 6 days a week. Why? I work overnight. 10, 11 hours a day. That's just part of trucking.
Right.
Somebody, whoever I'm with, needs to understand that I might not be off on a Saturday. I might be off on a Monday, Tuesday. I might have to go in for whatever reason. So you have to be able to understand that. And
So what's gonna happen when that person, when at the beginning they understand or whatever the case might be, that they start telling you, oh, you only have time for the truck. Oh, you everything got to do is in the truck. Or everything. What's gonna happen then?
you knew what
Yeah,
you was
that's
getting
what
yourself
happens.
into.
Yeah, that
Oh.
happens.
But can we apply
Now we
that?
understand that.
Can we
But
apply
yes,
that?
you can apply because everybody needs to agree to be in a situation.
Oh, everything
You
is a
tell me-
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he wants to have his time. Like, you know, when you actually have free time, then he wants to do something else or something like that. And then it gets complicated. Like I told you, it's a competition. Now it's like, oh, now I got this to do. This is my only
That's
day
when we
off.
plan life together.
Yeah, you ladies, I'm gonna say something, with all due respect, you ladies are beautiful, right? So you have 2 days off, right? So to look like this, that means you have to you have
invest
to
time
pamper
somewhere
yourself,
else.
right?
That's another thing. You have to also take time to be a woman and be the fantasy for your man because the man wants the fantasy.
Right,
They want
right,
the woman
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
look good. They want the woman to smell good. Everything. So,
All right. So when is that gonna happen if you only have 2 days off? Let's say, right? Because mostly we're talking about the scenarios, the main scenario we always see, right? Monday through Friday,
We're
2
women.
days
We
off,
make
right?
it happen.
Oh.
It's just the gift that God gave us. We make it happen.
Okay. Well, so I guess you're a mom then.
No, for real. Like,
Moms
you know,
make anything happen.
they're
everything.
taking most of the time. These women are looking good. They're taking care of their kids. They're working jobs. They're doing everything.
I've always said that women are super women.
They are.
Yeah.
They
Because besides giving life, they manage to do everything at the same
If
time.
we're sick,
they can really multitask
And do it well.
Yes, that's one thing I find weird when I meet somebody or I know somebody or I hear about somebody that, especially female, that can't. Obviously everybody has his limitations. I'm not gonna take that against that person, but it's hard to understand when a female can multitask or when a female doesn't have that God-given ability. When she doesn't develop it like she should. Because they have it in them, right? They have it in them, and we've seen it in these two ladies here. God bless them, and God bless all women in the world. These ladies are definitely moms, okay? So anybody coming up, boss up. You already know the deal. They're open to dating.
we want to have soft
Listen,
life now,
I
not the
want-
hard life. We
yes.
have the soft life. You know.
We-
I
we
want to
can-
have somebody that I can come home and be bummy with. I want to binge watch a show. Like, I just want to come home and cuddle and sleep.
You
Like,
wanna
so
get her
she-
and say, let me have this, let me do this.
we could order food in. On my days
I don't
off,
want
I
to
will.
come home and cook and clean and none of that stuff.
Oh.
On my days off, I might cook. 'cause
That's
I
your job,
enjoy-
baby.
So whatever happened to the oh, you gotta put this up when you come home.
But I'm saying if
this
you're making a
fell.
certain amount of money, if you're in a certain
No.
tax bracket, you could afford to have
So
a
we're gonna
chef
start-
or,
But
I'm gonna cook here and there, but like all the time, no.
right.
the best scenario.
Wow.
No, the best scenario.
Wow, I'm hurt.
I'm gonna use the opposite way. How simple it is to adjust to this type of situation. Look, she loves, and she's a hard worker, and she's saying how her life is when it comes to her work routine. But she loves to go home, rest, or just to be chilling in her house. While we have the second one that we love to be traveling.
Right.
That we love to go. We have two opposite situations with people that are already mom. Like they are doing it.
Yeah.
So for you as a man, imagine when you meet her, but you actually are the kind of Melissa, you are the one that want to be home, but you meet the one that wants to travel. So this is where it becomes difficult, even though it's not impossible, but it's so hard to understand who can match.
Yeah, because
That's the way.
that's how they say, oh, I want to meet my soulmate, right? You want to meet your soulmate, right? Okay, so how about if you're a bachata mate, or you're a merengue mate, or
Now, but
you're a
don't
rock
get me wrong.
mate?
Like,
You have to
I,
meet-
You understand?
you
You want a
have to
soulmate,
be-
right?
I like to
Like
be
in Spanish,
home.
you want, you're half orange, media naranja, right? Oh, but how about if you're a half lemon?
Correct.
I like to be home, but I also want to, travel too. But I might not have the flexibility that Suhey has because Suhey has her own company. She's an entrepreneur. I'm an employee. I'm employed by a company, so I have to follow some, which I have vacation. You know, like that's where the planning comes in.
Got it.
We can still plan like on the regular day to day. You know.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's very important to date. Like, date different people. Like, you know, don't only date just one person, because, you know, you have to get to know people. You have to get to
I'm
know
very
who you
curious now,
think.
Nina. You know that, right? And this, I want to take it back to something she said, because everything you say
Yeah,
can
yeah,
and
yeah,
will be
yeah.
used against you, right?
I
Just be
think
careful.
Because she said that, even older men are giving me that problem. You understand?
never mature.
So
It's
yeah,
crazy.
what problem are older men giving you that younger men aren't?
Oh, boy, I don't know.
Yeah, you plead the fifth. You always plead the fifth. You can
Well,
always-
Let me
she's a mom.
sip.
Okay, she's a mom.
Right,
She's a
right,
mom.
right.
She's a mom.
Yeah.
This is well, that was awkward, right?
Nah, but seriously, guys, it's just about like really communicate. And if this person is telling you what they want and how their life is and what they expect from a partner, if you cannot meet those requirements, don't waste their time or yours. Go meet or be with somebody that's on your level.
Yeah.
Right.
You might be attracted to her physically or me physically or whatever, but if mentally, if we're not there on the same page, don't even waste your time. Like, for what?
Right.
And-
So, excuse me, Suhey. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
Go ahead.
but with all that said, I do have to say that, like I said earlier, all women are superwomen. God bless all women. Happy Mother's Day. These females here are stupendous. They are good, and I consider them very great at what they are. I've gotten to know them just a little bit behind the scenes, and everything they do is like on fleek,
Amazing.
let's say,
Amazing.
right? They are moms. Melissa, I congratulate you. Suhey,
Gracias.
as well, I congratulate you. Jose Manuel, you have anything to add to these beautiful
We
ladies?
can congratulate her too.
I actually thought it was going to. No, it's just impressive. But actually, I love the fact that they are a great representation of what it means to be just secure of themselves.
Right.
You know, like it's nothing about I had to dissimulate or act certain ways for calling people attention. They are capable to say, this is who I am, this
Right.
is what I like, and this is what I'm looking for. Do you meet this? If you don't, stay where you are. To me,
Exactly.
that has value because it's just to be very sure of your
Hardworking
personality.
women, and since they are moms, we're gonna have them. I don't know, speak up, say whatever they'll like.
So yeah, I mean, I just want to end the show with this. Is like, you know, especially for my young girls out there, like, do not focus on love first. Like, I get it, like, you know, that puppy love when you're young, you just wanna, you think, you know, tradition, like we're like really you know, brought
Conditioned to
look for a
Nurture.
husband and
Yeah.
you know, have kids and stuff like that, and it's completely fine, and it's awesome that if you want to do it that way, but also like think about yourself and your independence and your own kind of like self, right? Like we're in different times, like focus on yourself, focus on making sure that you have something to, you know, back you up, and then, you know, and then focus on love, you know.
build
it's very
yourself
important.
up, so then that person on your same level comes into your life.
And my message for men is like, things have changed. Roles have changed. Women are doing kind of like the same thing as you, right? So it's like, we need a little bit more than just money and sex, okay? We need communication. We need emotional intelligence. We need a lot.
Attention.
Respect,
Respect,
honesty.
loyalty, like, you know, the things
Loyalty.
that are very invaluable. That's what's going to hold value.
What would you
like,
say,
know.
Melissa?
The same. I'm not a materialistic person. So what
I
I'm
am.
looking
You're
for,
a mom.
I'm not. What I'm looking
We
for.
are moms. We are materialistic. We need it. We need it.
Listen, I'm not like. I provide a good life for myself. I can take care of myself and my daughter. And what I'm looking for in a partner doesn't have a price, which is, like I've always said it, honesty, communication, loyalty. I'm willing to give you that. I know I could give you that, so I'm expecting that back. That's it. And if, anything else comes from that, materialistic, we could travel, we could build. That's obvious, but like the real deal, down to the core, is loyalty, communication, and respect.
Loyalty, communication, and respect
And-
are what moms want.
Hey, I like that.
Yes. All due diligence, like Melissa said earlier, women are to be respected. Okay.
Yes. Number one.
These women are to be nurtured, and you guys already know they're moms. She says she's materialistic. She's looking for somebody, she's open to dating
Some
and
money. No, I'm
money.
just like-
Listen, she's a female. Okay, she's a female.
it costs. That beauty
Right.
stuff that you were talking about, like looking beautiful. That costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
It
very
is true.
expensive.
You
It's
gotta
very
have money
expensive.
to. If you want to see that, you gotta have money to
Exactly.
support that.
Right.
That's true.
And I must say, you guys aren't here, but these women smell beautiful. I don't know which one of them it is, but
It's both of us.
Earlier I got a
What
smell,
you mean?
and so hey, coming in, I got an reinforcement. So it's like you guys already know it costs, beauty costs. All right,
Beauty
Just like it
Yeah.
costs to be the boss, it costs to be beautiful too.
it costs to be
But
beautiful.
nothing is more valuable than a person's character. So it's
Yes.
all at the end of the day, it's all about your character, your love for God, and everything else, like being an actually good person. And that's how we're gonna end the show. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to
Like, subscribe, and comment.
Like, subscribe,
Yes.
and comment. Don't forget, they're moms, money, power, respect. Right.
You already know.